initiative on the smart cities that I think is incredibly interesting and important, and that's the reason why I invited her to come and speak to us today.
Sorry. I just wanted her to look up. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
So she does have an initiative which is going to speak up to you about. So it's a community initiative, and I think it's something that is very important, and it fit within our subjects. Let's give a round of applause to Lan, please.
First of all, thank you so much, Rod, for inviting me to speak. And secondly, if someone, while I speak, maybe can help me bring this out on my screen. Okay, just a switch, just toggle. So this is showing, yeah, okay. Just toggle, yeah, toggle to my other, maybe this one. I think I know. Oh, there we go. Nope. You know, there is a toggle for. Oh, that's where we are. Yeah. Oh, okay. I could. Yeah. Then I think if I get my cursor back, do you see it coming back? I just needed to point to that smart, secure cities now G slides file. Oh, yay, got it. Is the G slides, maybe up a little bit. Up a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for helping me out on this. I have a lot of files and images. Some of them were taken from the recent keynote. What's the name of it? It's called Smart Secure Cities Now. Yeah, G slides. Yeah. All right. And so, here I'm reusing this set of slides because I think this is the perfect audience. And I don't mean to compete with Anne-Marie's call to action earlier, but maybe this is another way that we are actually very well aligned in that the people here in this group are very precious. I think we both recognize that. And what I'm here to talk about is that there is a large platform, a large stage under the initiative led by NIST and Homeland Security Department for smart, secure cities, for everyone here to put your talents and passion to work. So what I mean by that, let me take you through this a little bit. And before I do that, let me give a little bit of intro of myself. So I like to call myself a Cyber 007 turned M. Why the Cyber 007 part? That's because I have tracked down hackers who, for one example, who created millions of online accounts at financial institutions. At that time, this happened a long time ago, so I can name the names. Charles Schwab. And so that hacker had defrauded Google and Facebook and many others. And then when he came to Charles Schwab, guess what? He met the right? Matches. So myself and my team we were not able to stop him, but we also tracked him down because he had to do some reconnaissance and he left some trails at our firm. And so we eventually tracked him down and foiled his plan to make millions of dollars through the new account, linking and collecting what do you call it? The money link, right? It's two sums with a total of under $1 to prove that, your new account here is linked with your new account in another financial institution. So that took us a bit of time, several days to figure that out, but we did. And we were able to, with the trails that we have built up, FBI and Secret Service both raced to the house to arrest the person. So that's why I'm like, okay, I think I can call myself that. In the trenches for about 10 years. And the turn end part is because, guess what? I realized that it's like whack-the-mole game. You spend millions of dollars on our good people side. You arrest one guy who actually spent only, a couple of hours, not even much money, right? They can buy those tools so easily now online. So it's not an efficient and effective game. So I started to do more of the management side, awareness training, cybersecurity programs, cybersecurity strategies, all of that. And then the other end part is that I became a mother. So started to think about my youngsters' information security and privacy. So by then I moved to Cisco for a couple of years, and the youngster started growing. I'm like, time it's not waiting for me. So I switched gears and established a nonprofit called Adaptable Security. So you all know, adaptable, that is the ultimate state any business can get to. There is no absolute security. The best we can do is to stay one step ahead of the hackers, and that's the most efficient, cost-effective way as well. So, long story short, and then earlier this year, in March, I started to volunteer with this Global City Teams Challenge, which was led by NIST and Homeland Security Department. So together, they have this Smart Secure Cities and Communities Challenge. And so they were like, Lan, you are what we need. We have been trying to get this security side going for smart cities, but we haven't seen much effect. So come on board, become the co-chair, along with the Homeland Security Department Deputy Director, Scott. So he's the other co-chair. So together we are, my apologies. Forgot to keep going. Let me log in. I need to start the files again. Yeah, I double-clicked, but maybe the precision is not there. So now it's selected. One file selected.
You have Zoom monitor split, so it's over here.
I see. So there's a display.
Display settings. Display near internal. So now they're the same.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So let me then continue on to, okay, to the first one. This is, by the way, the keynote that I gave at a recent conference that NIST and Homeland Security jointly hosted at NIST headquarters. So smart cities, as we know, a lot of cities are trying to do it, right? So it's here to stay. We don't need to go into the benefits of it. So I'm just going to keep on going to the next one. And secure cities, as we know, not quite there. We all have heard about the Atlantic City incident. And so, also, by the way, I'm totally open to answering questions along the way, so you don't have to save it till the end. And then historically, this is where we have come in the past 30 years or so. The graph only shows the past 10 years or so, but guess what? It's not doing really well. And some may say, hey, we haven't spent enough money on this issue. Guess what? We have the budget in terms of the GDP has been consistently climbing. So what do we do next? Some optimistic people among us say, there's got to be something we can do, right? There's, we have sent people to the moon. This we surely can handle. And so, can we throw more money in it? As a matter of fact, that's not going to address the issue. As this, some smart people have done in this research you have seen. So it's Zurich Insurance Company and the Atlantic Council. They did this research together. There is going to be a point when the costs from cybersecurity, data breaches, and privacy breaches will equal the benefits from the internet communications information technologies. So what do we do? And not to pile it on, the incidents due to hacker intentional hacking actually has been rising way faster, or pretty much the more of the rage now. And then now, another thing that everyone's been talking about, the Internet of Things, smart cities. Of course, IoT is only a part of the smart cities, but it's going to be raising the scale to at least 5 times more attack surface than before. So that also, not just the amount of devices, right? Also because of the people. So traditionally, large enterprises and municipalities, etc., the people at least were trained better. Now, with all the consumers joining the attack surface, so it's anyone's bet. And here is some hacking incidents as examples. The first one, everyone knows about Mirai. And the frightening part is that the compromise only takes under 2 minutes. It's that fast. And the example of it shows that, initially, because of it being so potent and damaging, some experts said, there's got to be nation states behind this, right? A famous, what's his name, Schneider. He said, yeah. And then at the end, it turned out it's 3 college students, not even graduated. So what does that tell us? The devious mind could happen anywhere as long as someone wants to go there with the right set of skills. It can happen anywhere. Among any population. That is the scary part. And of course now they have released the basic code into the wild. So that basically makes it that much harder. And the second example is the fish tank, smart fish tank. So that's the example in Las Vegas, right? That example showcases that. And it can happen in the least expected places. So now that's what we're facing. And then to top, that's what the smart cities are happening in this kind of environment. And that also, by the way, is why the CIOs and the CISOs are so scared of right now. So when I was helping one of the anecdote, right? I was just helping a major municipality in the Bay Area hiring their first CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, and the CIO. First thing in the morning, right? Many candidates are lining up. And the first thing, we are just getting ready. The CIO tells me, "Did you see the Atlantic City data breach yet?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I have been busy trying to get to, helping you." He's like, "It just happened. Our purpose now is to hire a person to help us to not show up in the news like that." So they actually are very much monitoring it very nervously and very closely, right? So along with it, so now because of the smart secure cities, I'll just have a little bit of plug-in. Many municipalities are aware of it, and they are tapping into this NIST DHS-led initiative to get our help. So the stage is ready for people who are passionate and wanted to do something to join forces together. All right, to come back to the slides, the thinking pattern here, which is that, okay, our lovely lady here said, "Oh, after examining the hacking examples and trends, etc., I know the secret is adoption, right? If everyone, the consumers can adopt our solutions, the camera makers can adopt the solutions, and the casinos as the organizations that uses smart technologies can adopt our solutions, then problem solved." But nice observation. The thing is that our solution providers industries have been trying that, right? Spending a lot of money. RCA conference, so many people go, but the adoption among the key population is still not quite there. They don't go to RCAs. So what do we do? So this dialogue continues on. It goes that incentives and consequences need to be in place to encourage adoption. Take one simple example. Equifax, after the humongous data breach happened, the stock price dropped. By how much? I think at one point it's by 30%. But then unfortunately, number one is post the data breach, not, right? Not, no transparency for people to have a voice. And number two, after a couple of months, stock price goes back. That is the problem. And some transparency needs to happen to allow the key members, especially our communities of the people with the power, to actually have the voice be heard by the people who are dying to have such knowledge, right? So this is just a quick layout of the sectors in the society. So we all want to have that. Large businesses want adoptions, especially the solution providers. And people want adoption, but they don't know. They don't know what. Like after Target data breach, one lady said, "Oh, I'm never going to go back to Target again." She was defrauded, right? And I was like, "Lady, good luck. Where else are you going to go?" She literally does not know which business offers her better protection, right? So I think that's where we, the people who have been in the trenches, who have the skills and talent and passion, have a responsibility. Well, I don't want to say responsibility is a heavy word, but it's a place where we can use our talent. Okay? And later on, I'll show you where the stage is already set up for you to use the talent. The leaders already have seen that as well. That's why they set up, or they launched this initiative called Smart, Secure Cities and Communities Challenge. All right. So the largest part, SMB Gov, that sector, as we just already touched on, they are very nervous. They want to do something, but they face issues, two bottlenecks. One, I just came back from a CIO retreat and a CISO retreat, and the Washington state military head, or let's say, I don't remember exactly the title, he said, we can't compete with Google and Amazon. You know, the $1 million they can invest in the need, but we can't compete. So this is where we are at. So afterwards, I shared my business card with him. He's like, oh yes, let's connect up, please, right? So there is that humongous need, but the platform until now was not quite there. So then let's continue on with also the larger businesses. They also have a need because they continuously share, spend a lot of money on conferences like RSA, but the key demographics, they're not present. They don't go there, right? So earlier I showed that number, 99.7% and 50%. Guess what they are? 99.5% of the businesses are small and medium-sized businesses in the American society. That's why they are the backbone of the economy. Now, in terms of the people employed by this sector, they are nearly 50% of the people. Now, if you add government employees, that number is much higher than 50%. So I got lazy. I did not, add the numbers into here, but that gives you the picture, right? So everyone has a need. Now with the platform, we can give each other what we need and then also get what we want. And that's the Smart Secure Cities. And that Cybersecurity and Privacy Advisory Committee, CPAC, that's the committee that I co-chair with the DHS deputy director, right? So now everyone gets what they want. And the people, one deliverable from this includes a platform that can give the transparency. And of course, it also gives the hackers, the white hat hackers, the voice, the platform to share their talent as well. All right, and so SMBG side, of course, they will get good help. So this good help can come in the pro bono projects or paid projects. So here, I'll just share that we already have some municipalities who have such projects. We're talking, and then so there are pro bono projects opportunities for people who wanted to gain real life experience. And then there are also pay-in project roles for people who already have done it and want to have a side gig, right? And so in this side gig, you can also mentor other less experienced folks. So by doing it this way, we raise the availability of people like yourselves. All right, so does it work? This, PPP, public-private partnership, does it work? So it actually works. Here I just have a quick example to show that in early October, we had an event that some of the talented people here went to. So for first year event, we had many larger private businesses who also share our vision, who came through to sponsor. And we have a lot of the professionals from all of these professional organizations present. And we also have the small and medium businesses and governments present at that. So that symposium happened with all of these people who, by the way, some of them are first-time goers to a cybersecurity event altogether, right? And what is the result? Did people learn anything? This came the result from themselves. So we're 3 additional sponsors wanted to help next year, and 95% of the people want this event again. One of the onshore people is a friend of mine, and he's going through a career transition. So I'll excuse him for saying onshore here. And then also the other side is that most of the people, 95%, also said they're going to put the learning into changing behaviors. That, I think, is a really promising, positive outcome. So now that's one example of this public-private partnership really works, right? And then besides that one thing, there are quite a few other things that we have in the roadmap that will also work, all right? So before I go into those milestones, let me also touch on how this Smart Secure Cities Initiative work. So far, over 200 cities already globally already participate in this initiative. And under this initiative, there are so-called super clusters. So people in a certain sector, they group together and contribute their expertise. So we have agriculture and rural, data supercluster, public safety supercluster, transportation, so smart transportation, and smart utility, smart wireless, and smart education. There's a smart buildings that is being formed as we speak. Now, for all of these superclusters, we in the CPAC will provide support and help across the board to them. What does that mean? We currently have members from their leadership team to be on our board, and we assign 1 to 2 champions to help them. Okay, so there's a continuous feedback mechanism. So it's not top heavy, so that the superclusters, right now, in the past, they didn't want to adopt. They felt like any other companies felt that, oh, you want me to implement securities? That's going to slow me down. Why would I do that, right? So now, because we are implementing this way, it's an incentive for them to use our help rather than feeling like they are mandated and forced to do it. So some of the other milestones we have listed here also will give them additional incentives to come on board. And these milestones are being delivered by our CPAC members. And our CPAC members include just you and me. You know, if you think you have 1 to 2 hours a week to join in, contribute your expertise, great, that's exactly for you, okay? And it could be also for businesses that identify with the vision and join in. That will be even better. Because with business support, we can scale that much faster. Right? Okay, let me just touch on the milestones a little bit. So you know, and then hopefully some of you may decide that either yourself or someone you know could be interested, and then refer them to this initiative. All right, so 4 big categories of deliverables and milestones. First of all, is a guidebook. This guidebook is going to be, if I use an analogy, you probably all have heard about the NIST cybersecurity framework, right? NIST NC cybersecurity NSF. Okay. And then some of you may have heard about even the DHS cyber resilience review. I never can get that right first time. Cyber resilience review, CRR, which is a tool to make the cybersecurity framework more operational, easier for municipalities or anyone can to start using it, right? So even with that, it's still hard, right? If you don't have a professional on your team, it's still hard. So I liken it to this. Those two things are like the paper map. If you want to go to a place, you circle it out and you circle the destination out, and then you plot out your path to get there. But now in this day of age, we, CPAC, wanted a one size does not fit all tool to help people. It's like a Waze in comparison to the traditional map. When I say Waze, anyone who doesn't know what it is? Waze or Maps, Google Maps, etc., right? So you put in starting point, you give it also the destination point, then it will give you the optimum route based on real-time traffic information. Oh, this route has an accident, you should not go there, right? So the same way for a smaller business organization, if they don't capture a whole lot of data, why do they have to use the CRR, right? To get more compliant. So this is how we're going to make it work. We provide a guidebook, and then to couple that with a data-based tool to help the organizations do their security. And then this data-based tool, we're also going to use as little jargon as possible. For example, we're probably not even going to use the word cybersecurity. Instead, we're going to use trustworthy, right? So that anyone can understand. So that is the idea, a data-based tool, so that any organization can put some people to take a first look and then get some idea. And now if they realize that, oh, shoot, this is beyond me. This is, I don't know what this is about. What risk? Then the next thing is projects. So CPAC also has a team of experts. That's what we're talking about. You can also come in. I think at this point, just go without it. Can also assemble a team to do a project for them. How handy is that, right? So we anticipate that with this approach, the adoption will be that much faster. We already have several municipalities approaching us. For example, even at that NIST event that I presented at one city, Seat Pleasant, they have 4,800 people. They're like, yeah, please sign us up. So now I just need to have more people, like experts like you guys, to join on board, and then let's do it for them. Right? So that's the projects. The third one is the symposiums and webinars to continue the spreading of the word. So the symposium, you saw one example. And in February 20th to 22nd, there's going to be a much bigger scale, over 1,000 people will be gathering in Washington, D.C. Yes, let's go there. So, yeah, D.C., yep. And the best part is that the booth space, I was told, get as many as you want and for free. That's how how determined, yes, the central at the federal level the leaders want to get this message across. So I am now, getting this word out through you guys. So spread the word as wide as you can, and we will want to see you, right? So that's the third one. The last box is about, see if I can remember. It's about transparency. Oh, incentives and consequences, right? We wanted to mobilize the entire society because ultimately this is their right and this is their privacy and financial security and all on the line. And they want to have such information. It's just that right now, we as an industry have not provided them with the right language, the right tool to use yet. So, under this initiative, we will do exactly that. We will provide a consortium to certify certify secure cities, so that those smart cities have an incentive to become secure in the meantime, right? So because some people just recently, I think yesterday, CNN argued for IoT, more comprehensive, stricter IoT regulations. But you know what? By definition, they are not very fast for any regulation to come forward. They are going to take time. In the meantime, what do? We can't be sitting ducks, right, on the side. So this is our chance to actually put everything together and let the public voice their power. So that's one initiative. Another one is, I call it a cyber trust map. You're the first one, by the way, in the public group to hear this, because previously I did not even announce that one at the NIST conference. I wanted to build our team up a little bit further before I announce, but in our Silicon Valley, I feel like this is our home. So talking with friends, so I think I feel like I can share that with you. What it does is to share with the public that what product has what kind of security posture in a language that they can understand, right? So for example, I know that this security camera protects my privacy, for example. And this is how they do it, right? And then ask the public to rate it. And we also can have our own experts ratings, which our experts ratings will carry more weight, right? Because we know exactly what to look for. So that being said, we have all of these great initiatives in the plan, and the roadmap is out, and the stage is established from the grassroots level, as well as the municipality level, and all the way up to the federal level. So the call for action is out, and I hope you guys are the pioneers to join in. With that, I conclude my talk today. Thank you.